Hello and welcome to a new episode of a Score Sheet. As usual, we do have plenty of items and we are going to have a very special episode with very special guests. Here we are not going to be with the most popular games. It's not football, it's not handball, it's not tennis even, despite the fact that many incidents took place last week. And in specific when it comes to the games, as I said, which are described by many as very popular today, it's the game of patience, the game of C, the game of mental fitness as well as physical fitness. It's fishing. Well, do we have good teams regarding this? Do we have severe competitions? Do we have people who have ambitions to compete internationally more than nationally? All these questions and more with my dear guests live here in the studio, Mr. Mohammed Hussein and Mr. Abdullah Lamloum from the Heliopolis team of fishing. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Mr. Mohammed Hussein, Mr. Abdullah Lamloum, as we were speaking just before being on air, I know that you are from Heliopolis team and you participated in many of the local championships, and it seems that you were mastering the game as we say, and it seems also that it's a passion which started long ago with both of you. How many years now?
Almost 40.
Almost 40. And?
Professionally 10 years.
What's the difference between being a pro and an amateur in fishing?
Amateur whereby you get to learn fishing. You go with trips with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you turn to professional career whereby you start tournaments and the competitions.
Starting tournaments and competitions inside Egypt, as I said, but it seems that there is such a difference between this and that. Maybe more stress, maybe more preparations ahead of these tournaments or something else.
It's a bit more stressful because you're under pressure of you want to win the game. It's totally different than just going to a normal fishing trip, whereby, as you said, it's more like a mental sport, whereby you get to relax and chill, enjoy the sea, and at the same time you enjoy the sport you're doing. But in the tournament, you're competing with other teams. So that's why it's a bit more stressful, because in the tournaments they count the weight every day. So you're under stress of gaining more weight in terms of fishing in order to win.
You're not fishing for fun. You're not fishing for fun.
But I'd like to know more about the rules of tournaments, because not many people knew about this.
It varies. Every year it's different than the other, but they start by half kilo, and then for the trolling it's 3 kilo. And so on. It depends upon the fish itself. Some you can count on points and then you throw back again.
And who is to change these rules, sir?
The team itself, not us, but the federation. The federation, the Egyptian Angling Federation.
And you are all the time acquainted with the modifications or the rules?
Before the tournament, we sit all together and we discuss everything, and they explain the rules, and they give us some pamphlets that we read and we follow.
Simply when it comes to, as I say, normal games or things like football, for example, or even individual games, when you do have a tournament, you have more training sessions, for example. But with you, the case is totally different. What do you do to prepare for a tournament?
It's more like preparing the equipment. More than getting prepared or training more. It's more like preparing the equipment, getting mentally stated. Being mentally prepared to this trip, it's very, very, very important. However, it's a very tricky sport whereby you have environmental responsibilities. Because
the wind can change any time.
Yes, but also you have to be responsible towards the environment. Whereby massive fishing is not very good for the environment. However,
what we call in Arabic الصيد الجائر.
Yes, exactly. So during the tournament, you
because
have
I
to
was
be
wondering
responsible.
about this translation called this term. I don't know if it is used all over the world or
Massive
no.
fishing, yes.
Yeah,
It's called massive fishing, where you use nets and some illegal
Explosives
fishing use
and
the
things
explosives,
like that.
stuff like that.
Dynamites,
Yeah.
things like that, and of course it's completely
And
forbidden.
big parts of stones that they hit all the corals while moving,
Yeah.
and with the tent on the back, they destroyed all the corals.
This is
and
terrible.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
it is terrible. So that's why you're responsible for the environment. So you're doing the sport that you love, and at the same time, you're responsible towards the environment, whereby, for example, you don't throw plastic things.
We do have nice photos here, if you want to comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually the biggest fish that took the first place during the last competition.
How many kilos?
It was 13 and a half, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
A gas cylinder.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, it was hectic. It was hard, but it was fun.
Mr. Abdullah, I don't know why, when it comes to fishing as a sport, I think it's a kind of a psychic relief more than anything else. If you are not in a tournament, because, for example, if you do have some stresses, if you do have the pressures of life and stuff
Look,
like
I take
that.
it as a meditation.
Okay, would you please
meditate,
elaborate, sir, on this?
My work is hectic. I work with a recovery house, so my work is hectic. So I need some peace for myself, peace of mind. So while fishing, I know how to relieve my thoughts, and I just let go of everything with nature and just the water, and that's it. And you try to get fishes and have the fun of it.
This is exactly what you're talking about, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You and the sea, and that's it.
Exactly.
But when it is a tournament, I
Watching
think
the
the case
sunrise
is
and the sunset,
the case is
the
different.
fabulous of the nature itself.
Yeah.
It's not different. It's just tournaments. You work 24 hours.
Okay.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's stressful because you're working. But we are family fishing together. So we try to make it as
enjoyable as
an
possible.
enjoyment. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
This is the fish I got for the first place. This tournament. It was fun.
Yeah.
It seems so. When you go to a tournament, is it your choice, or it's the choice of the team, or you just...
You mean the places or the...
No, I mean how many tournaments, for example, just two?
Yeah.
And you go to the two?
Yeah, of
it's
course.
annual, 2 per year?
2 per year, yeah.
Now, why only 2, if I may ask?
It depends on the season.
Okay.
Because there's a migration season for the fish, and of course we avoid the mating season for the fish in order to keep the environment safe.
Yep, sure.
So there's 2 tournaments, one during summer and one during winter.
Yeah.
And that's why we have 2 tournaments along the year.
And the one in winter is harder. It's very harder because
This was
there's
my
no
coming
fish.
question, because when it comes to winter, as you've kindly mentioned
the
just
weather,
just a couple of minutes ago, that the wind can...
Winter is harder.
Winter is harder, but I mean, how do you prepare for this? For example, do you go for the
There's
meteo
weather-
reports and weather forecasts and stuff
There's
like that
weather
before go?
forecast,
Yeah.
You look for it, but the point is we don't choose the weather because they choose the date of the tournament several weeks before or several months before, and it's a fixed date. We talked about it this time, and they said they will try to be flexible a little bit, but they can't because they fix a date and they go for it afterward. They don't look for the weather because there is no application that takes a weather, say, for 3 months that knows
sure.
what's going on. So our choice is always hard. Every time they take the winter term, it's very high weather. And
Forgive my ignorance, sir, but for example, tide, I mean, when the
Wave
moon is
tide,
full,
wave
for
tide,
example,
rain,
wave tide,
everything,
and stuff like that. I mean, this cannot be prepared or scheduled in a better way?
Most boats go on an area where there is no wind, but there's no fish.
Okay.
But we are a little bit crazy. So we try to go, and beyond this area, we try to go out a little bit in the open air.
What the hell is what I was watching?
It's
That's trolling. This is a different type of fishing.
Yeah,
You know,
this is a little bit crazy, as you've kindly mentioned, sir.
yeah, but this is small fish. It's,
No, the technique.
This
the
is very
style.
fun while you're getting it.
Okay.
This is called trolling.
Okay.
And the trolling is you fight the fish with a flexible push. You don't just pull with power. No, you train yourself to do things that you fish with it, not to let the fish go away.
I want to stop at this. Train yourself. Is it the key word, or you do have trainers? I mean, how you get yourself ready? It's only on your own, or you don't have others to help you with this?
It's by learning. It's by playing as a team.
Experience on your own, sir, or with, if I may say, coaches?
With a team. No.
Fishing has coaches? There are coaches?
There is different kind of fishing that you can learn from people.
Yeah.
And by fishing, you watch more than you talk.
Okay.
I mean, even if you are a good fisherman, you just watch the others how they fish. Because for everyone has a talent.
This is it. My coming question, or how I can cope with you both. Is it a talent?
It's a talent on
more
the way
or
you
less?
fish.
Okay.
But it's all by God, and it's not lucky.
Yes, sir. But this trolling, the technique of it needs...
you have to know the water.
Yeah.
You have to know the heat of the water.
Yeah.
You have to know the tide, and you have to know the time of the year, the sun, and the area of the sun, everything. And then you start pulling your rapala that you're going to fish with the color of the rapal and what time of date and everything. And then you choose and you play with it.
There is all the time a turning point.
Yeah.
When you decided that you are not going to continue as an amateur and you are going to turn into a pro, and why?
Well, it depends. For me, the turning point was I enjoyed the sport so much. And as Abdullah said, we're playing it for fun and for relaxation, meditation. So it's very nice to turn your hobby into a professional career.
With family
yes,
also.
exactly. And it paid off. The first tournament that we entered, we won the first place.
Okay.
So
luck of beginners.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But the past 4 tournaments, it's either second, third, or first even.
Yeah.
The last competition was
it seems
first,
so.
Yeah.
It's very clear. We do have many cups here and many
actually, this is what we've found this this short period, because I just knew yesterday and
but
we didn't
sir,
have time
I was asking this question in specific because whenever you turn to be a pro, you deprive yourself from this kind of meditation or not
it's
to be in a stress.
The 3 days you're fishing. It's only, but of course you're fishing 24 hours. I mean, if he's gonna sleep, I have to be up.
Okay.
I mean, fishing, it has time to fish. But through the tournament, you fish 24 hours. So
give me a day or describe a day of a competition.
A typical
starting?
Day?
Yeah.
We're fighting.
A typical day, 24 hours. We're starting
24 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're starting by, when the boats start moving, we start like putting the trolling lures in the water by like 10 a.m. in the morning. Then we finished this trolling activity around 1. So we take like a 1 hour break for breakfast. Then one of us sleep and the other team members start fishing. Then this other member wakes up and you're fishing 24 hours. You just take a break.
Fishing 24 hours?
Yeah.
What?
Fishing 24 hours, is this true?
Of course, but the point is, at a certain time of the day, you don't find fish, even if you're fishing.
Okay.
I mean, if from, say,
and how do you know?
From 2 o'clock, because of the sun.
When the sun is inclined, is 90 degrees,
so you can't fish. You can't fish, even if you are fishing, but there's no fish. I mean, we are sitting fishing, but there's no fish.
Okay.
So you can relax at this time. It's a couple of hours at midday and a couple of hours before dawn. So it's just 4 hours that you can relax, not to stress yourself. But anyhow, you have to be there.
May I say something?
Sure.
When it comes to fishing, I don't know why, I felt from some videos I saw that there is such a kind of a relation between the one who is fishing, his equipment, the fish he is fishing, stuff like that. Even he can talking to. Oh, you come. I know you're
this
here.
Will come to the meditation.
I know you're here. I know you're gonna come. Yeah. I'm waiting for you. Oh, such a beauty. Stuff like true.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, tell me.
Of course, as you said in the beginning, it's more like a mental sport.
Yeah.
So you're going for 2-3 days in the sea. You're going to relax, and sometimes you have bad luck. So you start talking to the sea, whereby and you ask for the fish, where are you? And once they are here, you feel the connection. a lot of times we've seen that that you start talking to the sea, that you ask for the fish to come, and they come. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but it's a matter of prayer.
And sometimes you're unlucky, even you're fishing, but you can't get the fish up.
But feeling that you are part and parcel of the universe, and that we can have this connection among all creatures of God. This is exactly what you're doing in a way.
It's nature.
It's nature. But tell me about, for example, the most strange or a weird situation you've been through during the 40 years.
Once we were in a tournament, and we had a sea master who was with the boat, and he stopped in a place, and we saw the corals. I told him, corals, 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 and he got frightened. So he got into the open sea, and then he started anchoring. We kept on fishing 3 hours. We couldn't reach ground. 300 meters down, there is no ground. We're not looking for fish, we're looking for ground.
For the ground?
There's no ground.
We spent 3 days looking for ground.
He got scared like hell. He got scared like hell because the boat was going on the corals.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he was completely a snorkel guy, not a tournament guy, and so it was. That was.
We were a bit unlucky. And during this tournament, I
when
think
was this?
It was 1.5 or 2 years ago.
About that.
In the last day, I caught a fish. It was about 1.5 kilograms, which is nothing.
Yeah.
But we made a point.
Compared to
we made a point. We were happy. We were extremely happy.
Yes.
Yeah, we were.
But we fight, of course, with the guy and everything, and it was bad. That was bad.
Do we have referees in?
Yeah, of course.
What?
Each and every boat has an individual referee in order to monitor every day's activity and in order to monitor the weight of the fish.
And who got the bigger fish.
Exactly.
And to follow the rules and everything.
To follow the rules, which are modified from a tournament to the other according to the federation.
Exactly.
But how many, for example, how many clubs do we have here in Egypt competing in these local competitions?
No, there is a lot because each team has about 4 or 5 teams. So you can find, Heliopoulos, there's about 7 or 8.
7 teams.
Just in Heliopoulos, there were 7 or 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Last tournament we were 24 teams.
24.
Yeah, but the weather was a bit bad. And the wind.
I mean, sir, depending on what age categories, for example, do we have a female,
Believe me,
women?
We have female teams.
5 people and 1 more.
Yeah.
There are 6, an extra 6.
Okay.
This can make a team.
Okay.
This is the rule. The 5 and 1 more. You can go for 4.
Okay.
If you like, but it can be up to 6 persons with a teenager. Okay, so anyone in a club that wants to participate, you just make a team and they participate.
And
but this has to have a rule inside the club. I mean, you don't just go in a tournament. You have to practice being a couple of years in the fishing team in the club. Then you do some effort, and then you can go to the tournaments.
And how the newcomers are chosen? I mean, just if anyone wants to join, it's okay, or there are rules in this?
It's okay to join, but not the tournament. It's okay to join the team.
This is my question. What are the rules? Who is going to be chosen for participating in a tournament?
The water. Take him to the water.
Depends on how you're fishing, depends on your knowledge, depends on the experience. You have to have at least a beginner level for a while, then change the career to professionally.
Yeah. So there are competitions for the beginners and there are
watching each other. We learn from each other. We learn from others. So if you like to go fishing, we go fishing. I mean, we keep on going fishing every month. So we go fishing. And we see if you're good or not. If you're good, we tell you, come join our team or not, or it's okay. There's no need for you.
Okay. It doesn't depend on age category or being male or female. This has nothing to do with that.
Best is younger. Youngers are better because they will learn more.
For example,
they will learn more.
When I can join as a pro.
No, you can join not as a pro. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can't join
as a pro.
You can't join as a pro.
Yeah.
But you can play as in tournament. But as a pro, that means that you already have been through.
For example, who was the youngest in your team?
Basil, last tournament, he was 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. And this is my question, because this is a kind of a sport which has nothing to do with age.
They're younger.
Actually, the federation encourages this. The federation gives the team extra points if they have younger generations. And they give extra points to female teams. We have Heliopoulos,
us.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have the only Egyptian female team in Egypt. It's from Heliopoulos, and my wife is participating in it.
I'm speaking to someone who is involved into this field for 40 years, as you've kindly mentioned.
In fishing, not in tournaments. In fishing.
Okay, in fishing. I mean in fishing. Now I think you do have an eye to pick who is talented in this, who is going to be something.
Not
or
on
no.
the ground.
No, I mean on the ground.
On the ground, from the knots, from the way he's holding
This
the rods.
is it. Do you
but
now
most people
have this kind of
most people that know
a judgment?
knowledge,
Yeah.
they're not good at sea.
You mean theory is something and practice
Theoretical thing
is something very
of course,
much different.
Of course.
I think we are much more lucky with the YouTube videos, with the internet, with watching.
You can watch them exactly and know exactly
Yeah.
what's going on. If you write knots, you're going to see everything that you can do a knot with to the ropes, and you can go fishing. But how are you going to fish?
Okay. Same with you, sir?
Yeah, it's a matter of handling the fish more. Because I can teach you how to tie a knot, and I can tell you how to handle a fish while fishing. But it's a matter of how. For example, some people, when they catch a fish, they panic.
Yes.
So,
or they pull it hard.
so they start using their strength.
This is it, yeah.
So they start using their strength.
This word, sense.
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
In Arabic, it's
not
called
a-
laka. In
Yes.
Arabic.
Okay.
That you pull it once, that you hook the anchor in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a matter of not using the strength, it's using the mind.
Something which I don't want to see, by the way.
لا بس يعني you eat fish, huh?
I eat fish.
Of course.
Yeah, of course I do.
So this fish was.
I'm a seafood person in
okay.
general, but okay.
طب okay يعني.
But the way he is describing it is a little bit cruel, but okay.
You see, when you
It's
get
not.
a big fish,
Yeah.
you see the fight of the fish and how it jumps from a place to a place. You know, it's
And how do you manage,
fabulous.
sir?
This is the
No,
difference.
this is the secret,
difference.
which I
Yeah,
want to
this is the
know,
difference,
right?
yeah.
The secret.
This is
right?
the difference.
You
Yeah.
don't pull.
Yeah.
You don't pull.
You
leave
don't
it to
use
relax.
force.
Yeah.
You don't use force.
You don't use force. You use
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah.
You let go a little bit till it stop stretching. Then you pull. If it stops again, you stop.
Yeah.
If she needs more, you give her more.
Never increase the tension on the line.
Yeah.
Never increase the tension.
Yeah.
يعني the line has to be always relaxed. Even when you're pulling, it has to be relaxed.
Yeah.
You
In
don't
order-
just pull.
Give the fish the space. يعني give it a fair chance.
And don't keep it loose meanwhile.
Yes. Give the fish a fair
This
chance.
is such an
in order to fight.
equation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's fish that goes faster than the rod. You think that it's no fish.
Yeah.
It comes to the surface faster than the rod itself.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep on pulling, then you find the fish.
Yeah.
And you may ask the help or of someone. Or
Definitely.
Sometimes,
Sometimes?
of course, sometimes. If
I mean, for example, this 13-kilometer.
kilometer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 13 kilometer fish. Yeah.
Not
Safari
kilograms.
distance.
I mean, how have you managed?
لا, in tournaments, you have to handle the fish alone. If you caught a fish, you have to
okay.
handle it alone.
Okay.
but-
Even if it is that heavy?
Yeah,
Of course.
Okay.
The only point whereby you can have someone to help is when pulling the fish to the boat.
Yeah.
But handling the fish during the fishing process, you have to handle it alone. This is one of the rules of the federation in order to give the fish a fair chance.
Okay.
Whereby if you did the fight wrong, the fish
You're
can
gonna lose the
escape.
fish.
You have been all your life fishing, but Mr. Hussam is only 10 years old in this.
I'm 18 years older than him.
Okay, great. Sir, are you different than before? I mean, whenever I'm dealing with someone who is totally involved into such a mental sport, as I said, he or she all the time is saying that I became a different person. Or there are many things which really changed in my character after and before. True?
Yeah.
It's addiction. It's
True.
complete
Yeah. Well, I've been doing water sports all my life.
Okay.
I'm a dive master.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a scuba dive master, and now I play fishing professionally.
Okay.
Dealing with the sea changes a life.
Yeah. Sure.
It gives you more connection with nature.
Amen to that.
It gives you more peace in mind, and we're living a hectic
And
life.
chronic sinusitis.
Yes. No.
Okay.
This is a permanent thing.
Yeah.
But what I mean, we're living a hectic life. Yani our daily life is a bit hectic. So just going to the sea, enjoying the weather, the sun, seeing blue all around you. This gives you the peace in mind. This gives you the relaxation you want.
Nature.
Yeah, you get more connected to nature.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is an activity whereby not a lot of people know the beauty of nature around us. So
you got scared when it gets windy, but you have to meditate through.
Those kind of sports, yes.
My question for you is a little bit different. If someone is going to enter this field and ask for some steps or some pieces of advice, what are you going to tell him?
Patient. Observe.
And?
Observe, yes, let's observe.
Let's speak about practical things first. For example,
he has to learn, of course. He has to learn.
Has to watch videos, has to be all the time with people like
videos.
you.
It's
no,
not,
I mean
because the water
there are many
change.
things.
I mean, when you watch video, you watch the
guys.
oceans.
Are you on a diet, for example?
Oceans, right? Please tell me.
No, I mean, for example, if you were there and you have a different way of life, I mean, your daily routine changes according to going to fish, or now it's part and parcel of your life, so nothing changes.
Just a little bit. Your question is a little bit not on the point, because we are not training others. Okay? So I can tell you what training do. You understand?
Yeah.
But if somebody needs to come to us and play with us, then we're going to teach him.
Okay.
Okay, but to take somebody and train him from the start, from zero, scratch, to make him a champion, it's not our field.
Yeah, okay, but you can give them
I can give them
such just steps.
advice.
This is it, and
I
this
can
is what
show
I
them
want
how to do.
This is it.
As I learned, but what I learned is me. It's my talent. What Hussam learns is his.
Well, that's why he answered by observing.
Yeah.
You have to go on regular fishing trips in order to observe what
It's
other
not
people
one-time
do.
job. It's not 2 times. It's not lessons.
Sir, my question is, everyone who is going to fish, he should have his own style. His talent is going to move him
Build up.
from...
No, his talent will build up.
By experience and by observing as you can, and that's it.
Of course. And there's seasickness. Some people got seasickness, so they can't fish.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we're not equal.
Yeah. Regarding the competitions we are speaking about, they are all local. But I don't know till the moment why we do not.
They were thinking about going with one team international. With one team.
Okay.
That Egypt make a one team and go international. But till now, no one done something like that.
The federation was discussing last time in Hurghada during the tournament that they're thinking of getting doing international competition within the premise of the Red Sea. It's for many things in order to encourage
to get them to the Red Sea, not to go to them.
To do the world competition here in Egypt and the Red Sea.
Well, tomorrow is another day, and I hope that next time you are going to return with these certificates and those cups, but from international competitions, inshallah, simply as we do have success here, but we want to have more success outside Egypt. Promise?
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Mr. Mohammed Hussam, Mr. Abdullah Lamloum, thank you very much for being with us, and thank you very much for this very special episode of my program.
Thank you
and we're going to leave you with a promise to see you again in another episode of Score Sheet.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Right after the short break, I'm going to be back, so stay tuned only on Nile TV International. Welcome back, and let's continue with the coming few minutes with handball and what happened just yesterday. Egypt qualified to the next World Cup, but unfortunately we lost our title in Africa to Tunisia. It was a revenge match. Well, despite the fact that the Tunisian team lost 5 of its main players because of being wounded, but yet the Egyptians did not do it, and we lost 26-24. Why? This is a long story, but let's have a quick look at what happened with our dear guest on the phone, Captain Youssef Ashraf, member of the Egyptian national team of handball. Youssef, hello.
Hello.
Youssef, as I said, of course, congratulations to Egyptians as we qualified to the coming World Cup. But what happened yesterday against Tunisia, for me it was a little bit strange because, as I said, the Tunisians were not going into this game with their full capacity, as we say, losing 5 of their main pillars. In your opinion, why we have lost?
Well, I think it's a very big disappointment for everyone in the handball community, and there are many reasons that we can explain this loss. But again, we have to give the excuse to the players and the coaching staff. But so many technical errors have been done throughout the match, from the beginning all through the end, and the players did not do their best from the beginning of the game. I think we took the game for granted at the beginning, and we thought it was too easy because the Tunisian team was not playing in full capacity, as you said. So again, I think that there was a bit of overconfidence from the coach and from the players, that we thought that this one was going to be an easy one, but to never be against a team like Tunisia. And that's why we had to play from the first minute to the last minute as the final that it is, and that's what we didn't do.
But Youssef, there is something which I see a little bit strange. For example, Ali Zain was chosen man of the match, meaning that we did not lose our style or our unique performance. But this is a little bit contradictory to the result, or it's not.
Well, yeah, I think on any day you'll have some players that are performing on the usual levels and some that are not. But the difference comes from the technical staff, from the team, from the coach, from the overall performance, not from a single player. So even if Ali Zain played on his usual self and the MVP of the tournament, he did not. The other players were not as effective as he was, and the defense in particular, we had very big problems in our defense.
We have defeated Nigeria, Angola, Morocco. I mean, we did great just before going to the game against Tunisia. This means that, for example, exhaustion can be one of the reasons?
No, I don't think so, because none of the previous games were any close in the technical level as the Tunisian team, and we all know that the African Championship could be summarized in one match in the Tunisian final. So I don't think exhaustion, and there was good rotation was done by the coach.
You know, Yusuf, I don't know why I felt that this match, which took place yesterday, was a kind of a revenge. And the Tunisians went into this game bearing in mind what happened in Cairo in the last time we have met Tunisia.
Yes, exactly. And the worst part about it is that the next one is also in Tunisia, so it's going to be much more difficult. And it's their right to fight back for the loss that they had in Cairo. And it's also our right to fight back in Tunisia in 2 years to regain our title again.
Yeah. There are some media reports speaking about the resignation of Marwan Ragab. True, if you know anything about this?
Yes, that is true. But again, this is the new federation after the election. The decision of removing Captain Marwan was done before before the tournament even started, and he was going to leave anyway. And right now they're looking for another head coach, but they're looking for a foreign head coach.
This was my coming question. Do you think that the coming head coach of our national team of handball is going to be a foreigner?
Yes. Sources confirmed that the next one will be a foreigner, and the federation is now searching for the new coach for the national team.
And how do you see this? I mean, when it comes to our Egyptian players, how do they deal? I mean, for example, when we are speaking about football, we prefer a foreign head coach for the national team, but not for the teams, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Same story with handball, or the case here is different?
No, I think it depends more on the period or the phase. And right now we're going through a renewal phase that might need a coach with a little more experience than the ones that we have in our league right now.
Yeah.
So more experienced foreign coach, I think, would be beneficial at the moment for our team. And the players are all professionals. Many of them play abroad, and many of them know how to deal with
Yusuf, European or Latin American?
Well, it depends on the name. I think that we are more familiar with the European school, and we have had many of the European coaches for the national team throughout these years. So I think it would be more useful this way. But again, depends on the name and the resume of each coach.
Yeah, his CV. Regarding the coming period, do you think that it's better to think for a new coach before going to the coming World Cup, or to remain with the current coaching staff, because you know, it takes time to have this kind of harmony between a new coach and the players? Or this has nothing to do with the case, as most of our players are professionals, so they can cope with any new coach?
Yes, well, I think that the decision of the federation took was actually well timed. That Captain Marwan has been around for quite some time now, and they have had very good results. But I think the time for change has come, and I think this is a very good step that the team is building towards the 2021 World Cup. Actually, not the next one that will be played here in Egypt. To find new blood and find a new generation of players to carry on.
You know why I'm asking this question in specific, Yusuf? Because many are going to say Marwan Ragab took the national team to the World Cup. Despite the fact that this defeat took place, against Tunisia yesterday, this has nothing to do with being qualified to the World Cup. So why the resignation now? Is it, as you've kindly mentioned, because the time is now very much suitable for having a new coach, or this is the way we deal with any defeat?
No. Again, this has nothing to do with this defeat. This was the decision made by the federation. The time is now for a new change, for a new coach, for a new vision, and this is why they've made that decision. And the new coach will be applied immediately to have some time before the next World Cup and the next African Championship, and to have a long phase of renewal and refreshing the team and finding a new harmony of players.
We have a lot of other questions, so we are going to have you on Nile TV International screen. Yusuf Ashraf, thank you very much for your input, and have a very good night. Well, by this we come to the end of this episode of Score Sheet. Till we meet again same time on Nile TV International. Many thanks for watching. On behalf of Dr. Muhammad Rabia, Amr Fathallah, the staff of our Studio 35, and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman, always and forever from the Egyptian capital, from Cairo, peace be upon you all, or Assalamu alaikum.